It's a beautiful day in North London. Wembley is looking its absolute best for the 139th FA Cup final. Chelsea versus Arsenal, live at Wembley Stadium. Chelsea are looking to win it for the 9th time. We are buzzing. Frank Lampard had two objectives. The first one, he's done, finished. Champions League football for next year, secured. The second one will be to get a nice piece of silverware in the trophy cabinet. Chelsea's 9th will be lovely today. The Heads Up FA Cup final, live at Wembley Stadium. I am joined by Jason Cundy and Carlton Cole. Boys,
Joe.
Here we are. This is it, mate. This is it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It feels very different, doesn't it? I mean, firstly, Joe, I'll talk to you because we arrived quite early on today. You know, I don't know what you expected. I wasn't sure, to be honest. I wasn't sure if it'd be busy. I wasn't sure if there'd be people congregating, but it's quite quiet. I mean, noticeably because we are stood beside Bobby Moore right outside Wembley Stadium. So
yeah, I'm not surprised, Joe, to be honest with you. I mean, I've been lucky enough to spend, since lockdown has been relaxed, times at Stamford Bridge. I've been away to Aston Villa and Leicester as well. It doesn't surprise me it's like this. We're in the middle of a pandemic. There have been one or two fans, and we can see them dotted around us behind the cameras. But no, it doesn't surprise me, really. Most football fans would love to be here. In fact, every football fan of Chelsea and Arsenal would love to be here. But I think we understand the responsibilities that we all have still.
Absolutely. Carlton, you've been in there. You've scored a winner at Wembley when it's rammed, packed to the rafters. It's obviously going to be a very different challenge for the players today, but at the same time, it's an FA Cup final.
Yeah, definitely. The boys just got to get their head around it. Obviously, it's a massive occasion for the fans that are sitting at home. Some fans are down here outside the ground, but not a lot of them. But you just got to look at the whole scenario of the thing and the magnitude of the game. It's still the FA Cup final, and it's a massive thing that we've got this far. And look, any final is a great final, isn't it? And if you can come away winning, that's the main thing.
Well, I'll tell you what, let's have a look at Chelsea's past victories in the FA Cup final because we've had a few. Today will be the 9th if we are victorious at full time. So let's have a little look at the 1970. It all kicked off against Leeds, 2-1 after extra time replay. Then it took a little bit of time, to be fair. Another 27 years, in fact. Thankfully, my maths is written down. 2-0 against Middlesbrough. Then they start to come pretty rapidly, don't they, Jane? In 2000, beat Aston Villa 1-0. Man United in 07, we were having a chat about that earlier. Yeah. Didier Drogba, I remember, played an absolute worldie on that one. Beat Everton 2-1 in 09. Portsmouth 1-0 in 10. Liverpool 2-1. And then, obviously, the most recent one, Chelsea Man United 1-0 2018 Eden Hazard. Jay, you mentioned it. You've been here quite frequently. Thankfully, we are quite spoiled as Chelsea fans that we do seem to end up in finals quite regularly. It's as we keep saying, it's a very different scenario, but also it's not really new ground. You know, this is our second home, as it were. You're
absolutely right. I mean, you made the point there about it took 26 years. I remember 2004 we got beat by Man United. You know, that 4-0. I've got a lot of Chelsea fans, and you know, around my flat, I thought we would go on to win that, and even then, the delay went on. Of course, then we started not just appearing in finals, but then started winning them. That was absolutely crucial because then if you think about what happened in the 90s and what leads us in then to 2004, when we got beat by Arsenal as well, the disappointment. Frank has spoke at length about how he felt that final went for him, not just personally, but for a club. And he's now trying to use that experience as a manager to make sure that these young players, win, lose or draw, whatever happens, we benefit moving forward as a football club. But now, when we get to finals, we were lucky to get there when I was a kid supporting Chelsea and playing. Now, we get to finals, we expect to win. But make no mistake, this is going to be a tough game today. Arsenal are a good side. You know, since Arteta has come in December, he has settled them down. There's quite an even game, this one. But Arsenal will fancy their chances as well. So, look, we're here. It's a pleasure to be here. I just wish the circumstances were very different.
Absolutely. And Carl, you know, we spoke to obviously earlier in the season about the fact that how well Frank Lampard's done with the younger squad. You know, you talk like Mason Mount and Fikayo Tomori and Tammy Abraham, players that have grown up almost in the shadow of Wembley. You know, it's such a captivating stadium. You'll have been the same. Playing in an FA Cup final, there's a magic about it. So how, as a younger player, does this stack up when you know you've got an FA Cup final coming ahead of you?
It stacks up, doesn't it? Because the whole of Chelsea on your shoulders right now. The pressure's there, still always going to be there playing for Chelsea. Chelsea, playing for Chelsea comes with an expectation of a standard that you have to keep, and it has to always be high. And second best is not good enough. Although, yes, they've done really well to get here, the job's not done. And now they've got to obviously get the grit between their teeth and make sure they come home with the win. And I'm sure Frank's in there spurring the boys on. Jodie's in there. He's got experience with the boys. He knows what makes them tick. And I hope that they take the information that's given to them on board.
Well, Coley, again, on Frank Lampard, because you mentioned him there, how will Frank be feeling? Because, you know, it's a big deal as a player. He's won it countless times as a player. He's played in finals. He's done everything. Obviously, he's the other side of the white line this time. You know, and everyone's praising him, rightly so, for the brilliant job he's done. To finish his first season in the Premier League as Chelsea manager, winning the FA Cup, I mean, you cannot. You genuinely cannot find the words to say how impressive that would be.
I'd say he's definitely nervous because you do want to come away with some silverware. Definitely, like it's actually it's a massive bonus for him as well. You got to look at that because he probably didn't expect to get this far. But obviously, it's Frank. He's a winner. He knows what he wants out of his first season. He's probably mapped this out. What do I know? Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, we can only speak and speculate, but what goes on in that man's head is on to him, innit? So all I'm going to say is good luck, Frank, and hopefully he does well today.
Coley, don't put yourself down, mate. You've got it in there. We've been speaking about before. He's got business sense. He knows what he's doing. Well, on the Fifth Stand and on the Chelsea website, all this week we've been voting for our best FA Cup goal. Let's find out what come out on top.
Here is Ryan Bertrand. Loose ball drops for Oscar, who brought it down beautifully. Oscar! Oh, fantastic goal! A moment of individual genius.
Really does look lively, Walker. Driving the ball! Oh, goal! Clements puts his head in his hands, and Clive Walker has scored for Chelsea. Houseman. Still he goes, and he's got a pretty tough left foot, is Houseman. Still he goes on, and a goal by Houseman! 3-1. Here's Wise. Chelsea beginning to find more room as Wimbledon push forward, so that when Chelsea come out, they're on the counter and there's a bit more space for them to operate. Di Matteo, lovely turn from Zola. Oh, terrific stuff! And what a goal! What a goal from Gianfranco Zola. The little man at times is quite incredible.
Now Shevchenko back onto his favoured left foot. Oh! Andrei Shevchenko with one out of the top draw.
Di Matteo. Hughes making an angle run ahead of him and open up some space though, and a goal! Oh, fantastic stuff! Roberto Di Matteo!
Great take from Hazard, and he's helped it on. Here's the chance for Giroud! He's dribbled it through, it's absolutely brilliant! Olivier Giroud in front of the Chelsea fans!
Gianfranco Zola.
Here's Lampard's free kick.
Oh, what a goal!
Well, it's beyond doubt now. That is a stunner. Where's he pulled that from?
Great run from Fabregas, onside, got it back to Hazard. Costa almost took it off his toe. Matic will have a thumb. Oh my word! What a goal from Nemanja Matic to send Chelsea to the FA Cup final.
So Nemanja Matic scored the winning FA Cup goal, 2017. Do you remember that one? Ripped it in off the little crossbar in the corner. Of course
I
you
was
were.
here. Yes, I was here.
Of course you were. I mean, not quite as sweetly struck as your winner here, Carlton. I'm going to give you that.
Listen, it's good memories, but I always wanted to score here for England. I came on a few times, but I didn't really get a goal. Well, I didn't get a goal. I didn't really get one. But yeah, it's good to always score at Wembley, and the atmosphere was unbelievable. But whoever scores here today ain't gonna have the luck that I had having that atmosphere behind you.
Do you know what, I was going to ask you that, because at the same time, if you score at Wembley, not really bother that goes in. Like, I'd take it coming off your knee, just ricocheting in off the post. Yeah. So when Matic scores a screamer like that, you can understand why 27% win the vote. But realistically, a goal's a goal here, Jay, and we'll take anything today.
Of course, you know, the game, without taking it away from Matic, the game was probably over. That just kind of confirmed the game was over. There's a number of brilliant goals in there as well. But Carlton's point is valid today. Look, let's have it right. Look, football without fans it's not the same sport that you and I. Yeah. We all grew up loving and played, and we're very lucky enough to be involved in. But look, it is what it is. Whoever scores today, let's hope it's a Chelsea player that scores the winner.
We've just seen the players warming up inside Wembley Stadium. Carlton, we saw Timo Werner as well with the squad, and he's sort of getting involved with it and everything like that. It's important as well, isn't it, with new players coming in? Obviously, it's a different perspective, but if anything, it gives them a little bit longer to integrate and get to know their teammates before any competitive action starts for him and Hakim Ziyech.
Yeah, the key word there, integrating. They've got to run up to next season now, getting involved with the boys, making sure the boys, he knows the boys and training with them every day, making sure he knows all the personalities, how to manoeuvre within the changing room. So it's actually vital that he's involved, and it's only going to boost the boys as well, because they know they've got a quality player coming in for next season. And I wish him all the best, and hopefully we can see the best of him, because it's just going to be good for the Premier League, not just Chelsea.
When you come in as a goal scorer, Carlton, do you pick out a player? Do you look at a player and go, I know that I'm going to get service from him, so I'm going to watch the first couple of weeks, I'm going to see what movement, see what kind of balls he's playing, that kind of thing?
Jace will tell you, you always, when a new player comes in, you test them, don't you? Straight away, you test them and see what they can do. What is he about? What's all this fuss about? So you're always on to see what you can get out of him. Is he going to be good for me? Am I going to be able to bounce off him? Is he going to create goals for me? Am I going to create goals for him? Is he going to make me look good? So it's important that you can get that chemistry right early on, because it's only going to bode well for the manager, club and the players.
And don't forget also, on the back of that, he wants to come in and impress the players. Yeah. So you join a club or someone's joined, you want to make sure you leave a good impression on them. So that'll be on his mind as well.
Not too dissimilar, actually, Jay, to what we did to start with, because I zipped a ball at you, but I was flip-flops, ain't controlling nothing, other lad.
Some people say I used to play in flip-flops. First touch was...
Hey, mate, you still look sharp. Don't worry about it. It's lovely out here today. It's weird, Nick, 'cause we were talking about this. We were saying how yesterday was 35, 36 degrees. If you're playing 35, 36 degrees, so I guess, although we're all stood here quite relieved it's not as warm, players will be doubly as relieved it's not that warm today.
God, yeah. I mean, it'll be a cauldron in there yesterday. I mean, we're talking the hottest day of the year, playing in the game. It's a big pitch. I'm guessing it's going to be dry. There's not a lot of wind in there. Totally different atmosphere today. Completely different. This is almost perfect weather for football. I mean, I preferred playing in rain. I didn't mind playing in rain, but it's nice and cool. I mean, an FA Cup final in August, it could be anything, right? Yeah. It could be absolutely roasting. It could be raining. But look, safe for both teams. But it's better today than it would have been yesterday, that's for sure.
Team news going to be out soon. Obviously, we'll keep up to date right here on the Fifth Stand, Facebook Live, YouTube as well. Jay, when we're looking at the team today, I know we're looking at different options. We're looking at different things. Frank Lampard's got a wealth of opportunity, wealth of options for players that he knows he can trust everyone in the squad. We've spoken about this countless times over the season, but you know, Willian and Kante both going to be in the squad with some capacity, as Frank was saying in his pre-match press conference. Does it require mentally more than physically something today? Because it's a different task to play in an FA Cup final without the addition of fans and without the build-up and the hype. Like Carlton was saying, it's not be a worry about not getting up for it. It's a different thing to look for in a player today, do you think?
I think the lads are used to it now. I think initially, as fans, we all went into this period of unprecedented times as professional football, not knowing what to expect. I think we all, players, fans, officials, media, all kind of really had to suck it and see. But I think we've all come out of it going into this particular game now, knowing what's required. I don't think it'll unsettle any players, any manager, any decision, any official. I'm pretty sure that the lads going into this game now are going to be well versed in what they're prepared to expect, the game itself. They know the magnitude of it. We're obviously gutted there's no fans, but I don't think that will detract from anything that the players, both sides, are going to do today.
And also, Carlton, easy to get parked here today, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, I parked up. Easy to get a spot. walked down the steps, met Nick, and I was here. But what I would say, like, obviously, Frank is definitely going to be coming out. He's going to tell the boys, and you got to understand what he's had to do to get the boys here. It's unprecedented as well. Plus, he's been a great man manager, because you got to understand, to get to this point under these circumstances and then get the best out of your lads as well, you have to be a good man manager, and he's got the boys playing for him and making sure that they got here this far, and now it's just the last hurdle, and I think they could do it.
You played under Gianfranco Zola, didn't you?
Yeah.
Didn't you, Carlton? Does it make a difference when, because obviously you always want to do well, you always want to play best for your manager and everything like that, but if you like the manager as a player, you know what he's got to give. I know you're a fan of Franco. If you're playing under Frank, players like Mason Mount have been given non-stop sort of positivity and stuff. Does it give you that extra 10% when you get to a final like this and there's everything in your mind, but you're going, the manager trusts me, I know that?
Gives you another 50%. I'm telling you, if you actually love the person you're playing for, and he's got the best out of you, and you played your best football under him, and you know the formula works, you're gonna play out of your skin for him. Like, you're gonna live and die on that field for your gaffer. So, as I said, the man management that he's applied, and it's not just him, it's been Jody, it's been Joe as well. So you got to put all of these guys in the same pot, and the chemistry between them has made the boys get to this point, and hopefully they can get them over the line.
Jace, FA Cup finals, they're, for me, always growing up, it was about it was about the day, it was about the week building up and everything like that, you know. And although we're talking about this, because obviously this is my first FA Cup final, right? There's still something magical. As soon as you see the stadium, you forget that there's no one here. You forget there's nothing here, because it's just you and the game itself. You've been in and seen 1,000,001 different scenarios inside a football match. Do you expect to see anything different today, or as soon as that whistle goes, it's going to be exactly the same as every FA Cup final?
I think exactly the same as every FA Cup final. I don't see today being any different. We all know and accept, and unfortunately, we're looking at Bobby Moore there. There's no fans around him, but that's the way it is. The players are used to this now. Honestly, I genuinely do not think that the fans not being in there today is going to have any bearing on the performance or the result. What will happen today is down to the managers, the players, the tactics, the substitutions, maybe a little bit of luck, a refereeing decision, maybe a bit of VAR that goes your way. Other than that, the fans... Look, okay, let me kind of just... The caveat to that is, if the game is tight and Chelsea or Arsenal are chasing an equaliser and there's the fans egging you on, or you know, that atmosphere you get in certain games.
This is football in its rawest form. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, this is football, like, as we said earlier, it was like reserve football, and you had to stimulate yourself. You had to galvanise the team, first and foremost. That's what Frank's doing. And then you had to kind of like get the best out of yourself. You had to self-motivate yourself to get the best out. And that's what's going to happen today. It's the same thing. And look, the fans do get you over the line sometimes. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I've been on the floor sometimes, and I needed that extra 10% push. And then the fans was going, come on, Coley. So, yeah, you're going to miss that, but they have to self-motivate themselves to get that extra 10, 15% that they're going to need to get over.
Well, team news is in. Chelsea are unchanged. Willy Caballero, Cesar Azpilicueta, Kurt Zuma, Antonio Rudiger, Reece James, Marcos Alonso, Mateo Kovacic, Jorginho, Mason Mount, Olivier Giroud, Christian Pulisic. Now, we were talking about this before, Coley. Yeah. Giroud, I don't want to put this on him, right? But when Chelsea get to finals, they've always had a big centre forward that produces, you know. Olivier Giroud has got a hell of a record playing at Wembley Stadium. Yeah. He's got a very good record for both clubs that are playing today, and also a very good record against Arsenal for Chelsea. The way he's playing at the moment, he's got to be the first name on the team sheet, isn't he?
Yeah, but let's not jinx it, right?
Don't let me do all that, Don't let me do all that, Coley. I'm just giving you everything.
You've just reeled it right in, didn't you?
Come on, speak up.
No, what I was going to say, I was like, listen, Giroud is in a rich vein of form at the moment. He's obviously got Tammy in the wings just waiting. But Giroud definitely wants to be making an impact in this game to lead on to next season. He knows what he has to do. He's experienced. He's a model pro. And I reckon today he's just gonna come alive. It's against his former team that let him go. So he's definitely got the bit between his teeth today. And I reckon we'll see some sparks.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, coming up shortly, Gus Poyet joining Zach and the rest of the team on Matchday Live. We will find out and hear from all of them, talking about team selection, of course, and that big headline news. After we check out club captain Cesar Azpilicueta discussing how his ever-changing role as Chelsea skipper has happened the last couple of months.
Oh, Azpilicueta scores! Absolutely brilliant. Azpilicueta, captain's goal. Good ball as well. Cesar Azpilicueta!
Hi, we're looking to play in the final on Saturday. We know that's a big one. The tradition with the FA Cup in Chelsea, so obviously we have a great opportunity to make it happen. For me, it means a lot. I always had this desire to lift the FA Cup because it's a trophy. It's very historic in the country, in the club. So to lead the team out in Wembley, it's a moment that I'm really proud of it, and hopefully we can enjoy it all together. When you have a manager that has been your teammate at the beginning, can be different. Obviously, it's not it was the first time that I could have a manager that was my teammate for 2 years. But to be fair, it was very, from the beginning, very natural. We understood the positions, that they were different when we were both players. Now he was appointed as a manager, I was appointed as a captain. So from both positions, we always try to find the best way to win, because at the end of the day, it's all about working together to get the results of the team. So from my position as a captain, with my experience, I tried always to give them advice, to help them in difficult situations. Obviously, we miss the fans. They are a big part, feeling their support, home, away, everywhere. And I think in this moment that everybody can face difficulties, I'm sure in those moments when we were playing, they were supporting us, and I'm sure they were forgetting those difficult moments, and they were supporting their team, which obviously we always felt during all the games, even if they were behind closed doors. And now we have a special opportunity. We have a final that's is a FA Cup final. That is something that we always we want to go there and we want to win. So just the same message to support us from home. That is obviously very important, to try to get them as quick as possible when it's safe to do that. And I'm sure that they will keep pushing us, and hopefully we can give them a day to remember.
Yes, with Joe swanning off to Wembley. For some reason, they've decided to leave me in charge. But perhaps it's because they needed a big-time personality for some big-time guests. Yes, former Blue Gus Poyet and Claire Rafferty have joined the rest of the Matchday Live team this afternoon. As always, I'm joined by Pat Nevin and Savage Dan. Welcome, Gus. How are you doing, mate?
Very good. I'm waiting for the game, like everyone, expecting a blue day.
Yes, and Claire, you're also joining us today. Not Matchday Live in general, but the first time over Zoom. How are you doing?
I'm looking forward to the Zoom experience, but I think at the end of the day, I think London's going to be blue once again.
Yes, fingers crossed. You can see I'm wearing the new home shirt. Gus, you won the FA Cup in 2002. How is it as a player to win such a massive competition, especially in England? Oh, sorry, 2000. I apologise.
2000, yeah. No, it's... I said it many times, and I still believe in that the FA Cup is the best domestic cup in the world. I know that lately, in the last few years, because of the Champions League being so important, teams, they don't pay the attention that we used to. But I think because we need to do something to bring the teams back. There is no better feeling, to be able to play in an FA Cup final, especially in the old Wembley. I mean, you're too young, too many young people. But that walk that probably you saw in video from behind the goal, like nearly 100 yards or 90 yards to the middle of the park with the stadium going crazy. It makes you, go the extra bit of adrenaline that you need to play a final. All the pre-match preparation, everything around the cup, the red carpet. I mean, for a foreigner, having the chance to be there, it was special. Obviously, the most important thing is to win it. Now, I was lucky to be with Mr. Di Matteo, scoring every single final. Later on, Mr. Drogba is in every single final, which means that we had a little bit of advantage. But it was special as well because for people to know It was the last FA Cup at the old Wembley, which is something that is going to be there for history.
Indeed, it's not too bad. Claire, you won the Women's FA Cup in 2015. How was that experience as a whole? I mean, going from the semi-finals and that whole route to the final.
Actually, that leads on so well from what Gus just said. They played at the last game at Wembley, the final at Wembley. We actually, for the first time ever, the Women's FA Cup final was hosted at Wembley Stadium. So not only was it Chelsea Women's first FA Cup final, we actually won. And it was the most incredible experience. It was such a landmark in women's football and progression, especially after an incredible World Cup. Probably one of the best years of my life, because getting a bronze medal in the World Cup, winning the FA Cup final, winning the league that year. I think hopefully it will be a good omen. So it was the first time we actually won as Chelsea women. But I think walking out in front of that crowd, I do have a little bit of sympathy, and the fact that they're not going to be able to suck up the atmosphere, because we all know how much that gives you that extra edge and that extra push. But I think the fact that it's a London derby, the fact that it's Arsenal, the fact that we've got Giroud versus Luiz, the fact that there's a lot of history in there, I think it's going to actually go down to who wants it the most, who believes in the most, who's going to really dig deep. And the FA Cup final is magical. FA Cup generally is it's a story of the underdog, isn't it?
Yeah, indeed. It's the magic of the cup, as they say. I'm going to quickly recap the Chelsea team, the lineup. In goal is Willy Caballero. At right wing back, we assume, is Reece James. Your centre backs are Antonio Rudiger, Cesar Azpilicueta, as always, the captain, and Kurt Zouma. Left wing back is Marcus Alonso. In midfield is Jorginho and Kovacic. Left wing is Christian Pulisic, right wing is Mason Mount, and up front it is Olivier Giroud. Dan, how are we feeling about that team? I'll also quickly go through the sub bench as well, just in case. Kepa Arrizabalaga, Andreas Christensen, N'Golo Kante back from his injury, Ross Barkley, Tammy Abraham, Pedro, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Fikayo Tomori, and Emerson. Yes, Dan, how are we feeling?
I'm feeling confident. I've been feeling confident all week. I've got this thing about Chelsea in finals. I've been lucky enough to see the likes of Gus and everyone else kind of go and in finals show up. There's not many times that I've come away from finals disappointed. I have in my own personal. I've got a terrible record in finals. At a semi-pro and amateur level, it's terrible. I've got a terrible record. So I'm hoping that we can do the business today. And to be fair, a lot of social media saying the same thing. So David's saying, I think this will come down to Aubameyang versus Pulisic. Both managers will be looking to them for magic. I think Pulisic will be the one to provide. Daniel, not me. Daniel has said, I'm getting that cup final feeling. I've tried to take a nap, but the nap won't take me. And then Ramsey has said, let's go Chelsea, expecting a 3-0 win. And I kind of have got a feeling we'll see a convincing win today. I can't tell you why.
Well, I mean, we'll get onto our score predictions a little bit later. Pat, how are you feeling about the team? Who's there a standout player that you think's going to shine today?
To be honest, I was most interested in the systems. I think the systems are interesting because, as we know, they've matched up against each other. It's always a bit of a concern that it's so open. It means you know who you're playing against. And I expect goals. Claire and Gus were talking about their last finals. Last time I played in a final for Chelsea at Wembley, we won 5-4. Right? Wow. I'll put all that right now, okay? I don't think some of us could cope with it. But it could be. I think it could be an exciting game with lots of chances. They're really good going forward. If Pepe and Lacazette and Aubameyang, if they hit their stride and they're up for it, they're a hard bunch to stop. And we know we've leaked a lot of goals this season. The thing is, they get problems at the back as well, and we can score goals. I just think it's going to be a great game, an exciting game. I think it's going to be plenty of tension in it. I was just intrigued to see how many of the youngsters would be given an opportunity this time. I think the youngsters will, but it will be important, and it will be in the second half, and I think they might be crucial to us. May well be telling me the big one for us.
Okay, well, it's time to focus on one of our youngsters, an export from another country. It's time to focus on a man who's been on fire recently.
First up, how are you and how do you reflect on what's been a roller coaster season so far?
It's definitely been a crazy season, for everyone. A lot of stop and start, especially for me. a bit of an injury, coming back, lockdown, a lot of ups and downs throughout the year. But yeah, I wouldn't change it for the world. I think it's been an amazing first season. I've enjoyed it so much, and I'm loving every bit of it.
It was a strange one, wasn't it, as you alluded to earlier, because you hit the ground running, didn't you? And then there was the injury, and then you came back, and then the injury, and then the lockdown, and then it felt like you were just sort of finding your patter, and then there was something there to stop you on your paces again.
It's been a wild first season, definitely. Obviously, no one could ever predict, the big stop, the lockdown and how everything has happened this year. But no, I'm really happy in the end with how things have turned out, with how I'm feeling, and I think you can see it now with the chemistry, within the team.
You've been flying since the restart. I mean, what do you put that down to? Is it being fully fit and ready to go?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a bit of that. Fully fit, obviously rested, just like we all were. I think being able to just come in with kind of a new mindset, especially after the injury, I really wanted to prove myself and help the team.
I want to talk to you about the speed and the power in your game, because from a defender's point of view, having you run at them full pelt must scare the life out of them. Has that always been a big part of your game?
Yeah, I think I've always had a bit of quickness for sure, especially with the ball. I was always the smallest guy growing up, so I was always going against bigger guys, so I wasn't necessarily faster because I had some little strides, but I always used that kind of quickness to my advantage and dribbling and creativity. So that's the goal. You want to put the defenders on their heels and always switch things up, and then just they don't know what to do. So I think I definitely use that to my advantage.
Growing up as a young boy, how aware the FA Cup as a competition were you?
Yeah, definitely aware. I lived in England when I was 7-8 years old for a year with my family, and I definitely remember watching some FA Cup games. Obviously, I don't have the best memories of it, but I know what it means to this country and just how big of a cup it is. And obviously, I'm honored to be in the final now and have a chance to go win the trophy. We're really excited.
Does the lack of supporters affect sort of the mentality going into the game or any of your pre-match routine?
I don't think it changes too much. I think we have that same mindset. It's really just even more so just us against them. Us against the opponent. Obviously, it's just a battle on the field without any fans, changing, momentum in the game, without anything. It's just, straight up us against the other team. And I think that's been good. I think we've handled it well so far, and it's going to be that way again in the final. Just us against Arsenal in the final, and
we never stand still, do we? Looking ahead to next season, obviously fans already getting excited about new additions with Hakim Ziyech and Timo Werner coming in. You'd have obviously come up against Timo in Germany. What was he like as a player?
Yeah, he's a very dangerous player with I think some similar qualities to me and some of the other attacking guys we have. He's obviously very quick, very good in front of goal. I think he's seems like a very humble guy who wants to come in and he wants to work. And playing against him, it's been a good experience, and it's going to be nice to have him on my team as well. So we're definitely looking forward to that.
Going back to the present day then, finally, Christian, what would it mean to you then to go to Wembley and win a first domestic piece of silverware to wrap up a first season at the club?
Me personally, I've gone through a lot this year. A lot of ups and downs, and as a team as well. And like I said, going out with a trophy in hand would definitely just be the best way to top it all up.
We wish you the best of luck. Thanks for your time and good luck at Wembley.
Yeah, thank you so much.
What a player he is. Gus, let's talk about Christian Pulisic. There are a lot of comparisons to him and certain Eden Hazard. Do you believe them to be true, or is he kind of his own player and shouldn't be linked and shouldn't put so much pressure on him at such a young age?
Yeah, I don't think we should put too much pressure. No, I think we knew his qualities. Especially we followed him even before coming in. I think he started the season on fire. It's normal. Young players, they start with an adrenaline, like you want to, eat the world and do everything in 3 months. Then normally you go a little bit down. You got the injury as well in the middle, but then he came back and, oh my God, it was like we never seen before. Really, absolutely impressive. And the kind of players that when a game is tight, like could be today in terms of the two teams looking at each other in the beginning, you need that player who's going to do something, magic, individual, and block a defense or take people on, because even the best teams in the world are great at defense.
Indeed. I mean, Claire, what a player Pulisic would have been to play on the left. How would you found out to have played with someone like Pulisic?
Well, as a left back, I think his movement, his kind of creativity, the ability to find space, and solve problems. As Gusher said, comparisons with Hazard were going to be inevitable, but to fill the boots of 20 goals a season, you know, he's a young boy. He's come out over a lot of expectation, 58 million price tag on his back, and he had injury. It's a bit of a slow start. He has to almost acclimatise to this new environment, but I think he's grown. He's shown the fact that he can change a game. He has the potential to actually, you know, if it's 0-0 or we're coming from behind, he has that spark and the kind of creativity to actually lift the players. And he does that. You see when he scores a goal, he's, you know, there's no crowd there, but you can see him lifting the players with his hands. He's kind of really believes in his own ability, which is, you know, exactly like Hazard. It looks almost like it's too easy for them. I'm so excited for what he's going to bring.
I mean, Pat, something we've seen since the restart more so is his love and his link up with Giroud. I mean, we saw it a bit last season with Eden Hazard and Giroud as well. Do you think they've got a really good duo happening?
What I see with Pulisic is what I want to see with the best players: match intelligence. And he's got more match intelligence than I gave him credit for at the start. Keep on seeing him going into the right positions all the time. Guy can go left or right. He has got stupid pace, and he does it with a ball. It's amazing. So when he gets that all together, it's a stunning thing. And it's, you know how much I love certain players in our team. You know, I love Jorginho, I love Kante, I love various players in the team. If I was manager of Bayern Munich or Real Madrid and I had a choice of one Chelsea player to buy right now, I'd buy Pulisic. I'd buy him. That's a big statement because of what he can be. As I was saying before, it's about putting them all together. And I just believe he's going to do it. I hope it's today, but I have no doubt it will do. And this would be a great starting point to announce that here I am, world winning competitions for Chelsea Football Club.
Yeah, I mean, today could be a fantastic start, an origin story, as they say. And Dan, I mean, there's a lot of young players in this squad, Pulisic being one of them, but we've also got Mason Mount starting today. And we've also got Reece James on. And even on the bench, you've got players like Tammy Abraham and Tamori Callum Hudson-Odoi, who have all contributed to the route of getting to the final. How big is it for them? How do you think those youngsters, 20, 21, even younger, will be feeling about playing their first kind of big final at Wembley?
Yeah, this is going to be huge. I feel like this will be the majority of our players' first FA Cup final. As Gus rightly said, it is probably the world's biggest domestic cup. It's probably lost a little bit of its importance as of late, but no doubt about it, when you've worked this hard to get to a final, and look at the route we've taken, look at the teams we've beaten to do it, you want to win it. It's a big game. Even without the crowd there, I think they'll probably feel it because I can feel it here. Just looking at the screen, it's a big game. It's just about keeping their heads because they are young, and making sure that you do the basics right and kind of grow into this game. And I feel like that Mason Mount's done it all season. I don't think he'll freeze here. And the same goes for a lot of the other players. They are young in years, but they are playing well beyond their years.
Yes, and we've seen that over the past couple of games in particular. Now, guys, we're about to move on. But Gus, thank you. We'll see you at half-time and get your thoughts on the game. We're going to go back to Wembley now with Joe, Jason and Carlton. But just before that, let's head pitchside where Lee Parker is talking with Willian.
Are they going to come high? No. Are you happy? Counts 10 for me.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
It's alright, I've already definitely been wanting to shout hello Wembley on the mic. Once more, Willie.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yes, this will be Lee's level. Talking to Willian, we'll be talking pre-match. I'll ask him, obviously, mixed emotions. Would love to be involved, but unfortunately not. Although he has some pretty awesome shoes on. Yeah, that sounds good. They're amazing. Ready when you are. Willian, first up, good to see you. Obviously, mixed emotions being at Wembley. I know you'd dearly love to be involved today, though, wouldn't you?
Yeah, of course. But unfortunately, this time I couldn't be able to play. But I will be outside that, supporting my teammates, and hopefully we win this game today.
Hopefully so. How is the injury and how is the rehab going?
Going good, going okay. I felt my both Achilles during this during this couple of games ago, and against Liverpool was bad, but I still playing the game, and then I couldn't be able to play against Wolves. So now I do treatment, and hopefully I can play against Bayern.
We hope so. It's obviously never a good time to get injured, but you've been flying, haven't you? Since the restart, your form has been fantastic.
Yeah, I think has been good, and I'm happy because of that. And yeah, I think always I try to do my best and to help my team to get the wins, and that's what I always want to do. And today it's unfortunate that I cannot be there, but I will be outside to support my teammates.
Cup finals are always very special here at Wembley, aren't they? But how strange will it be, I guess, similar to the semi-final, with it being so quiet here in the stadium?
Totally different. Without the fans, the atmosphere is totally different. But we have to do our job, have to concentrate in the game, and to do our best to get this title.
So it's up to you now. You've got to make the same amount of noise as 40,000 people, no pressure. You've been around, obviously, the boys in the team hotel. What's the feeling like? How are they feeling going into the game today?
Feeling good, feeling confident to play. Final is a final. Everyone wants to play, a final. So I think we wait so long to get in this moment. Now we have to do it. We have to win this game today.
Enjoy the game and good luck with the rehab.
Thank you.
Thanks, mate. Thank you.
Welcome back to Wembley Stadium. We're about half an hour away from kick-off, lads. Let's talk about Willian. Obviously, unfortunately, not involved today, but we were just talking off it. He's got to be in the conversation for Player of the Season. He's had such a terrific season, and as he's going to hate me for saying this, but as an elder statesman of the dressing room, he's taken that role on massively, hasn't he?
I think he's enjoyed the fact that Hazard's not here, actually. I think that Hazard was and understandably so, and rightly so, he was the number one go-to guy when Chelsea needed something. I think he's enjoyed the fact that there's not that now, and I think he's stepped out of that shadow. Not to say that he isn't the experienced player that couldn't do it always, but Hazard was at that level. I think he's had a fabulous season. I think he's in the conversation for Player of the Year. Stats and numbers will tell you that. They stack up. I think they're his best numbers. He's already been Player of the Year here at Stamford Bridge in the past as well. And Frank trusts him. And you can see the relationship, because Frank, when we come out of lockdown, even going into lockdown, trust him a lot in big games as well. And I think Frank missed him. I think if he was fit, I think he starts today. But look, we've got able replacements and boys that have done a fabulous job in the time that they've come in. So, disappointing. Who knows where his future lies after this. I hope he signs a contract, because I think not only does he deserve it, I think I definitely want to see him in next season in a blue shirt.
Coley, we were talking about when you came through, you had Gianfranco Zola to sort of lean on and learn from, and he took you under his wing a little bit. How important is it to have players, for like Mason, for like Callum as well, coming through, to have someone like Willian that's not only been there and done it, but been there and done it at this club to learn from?
Yeah, well, it's massively important. You do need your experienced pros in any club you go to. They're the ones that will guide the way. When the chips are down, they're the ones that should be able to lift the team up. You just got to have those sort of characters in the changing room, and obviously Willian's done a lot of that groundwork on ground zero with the new recruits. And you've got to look at it as well. We've got Giroud in the team as well, and Giroud's definitely been helping out, because you can see in his not just in his performance, but the way people respect him on the field and give him the ball when he needs the ball in the right places, and you can see him dictating exactly what he wants. So having that experience and that person to go to when the chips are down in the match is very important, and it's a beacon of light for the young boys to follow.
Well, another young lad that's been superb this season, disappointing he's not involved today, is Billy Gilmore.
Yeah.
I really wanted to talk about Billy without talking about that Liverpool game, because there's so much more to him than that Liverpool game. But let's talk about that Liverpool game in the FA Cup when he just ran the show. I mean, he's up against Fabinho and Wijnaldum, and he's got experienced players around him. How impressed have you been with him today, and how disappointing is it that he can't be involved due to his injury?
He's definitely going to be one of those ones where he wants to be here. You can tell he wants to be in that stadium as much as I do right now. Do you know what I mean? But look, he's had a brilliant season. He's broken through this season. Great breakthrough season. I think that Liverpool game, yes, it was a great game to watch. And as a fellow pro, I'm so happy for him, because one of my first good games was against Liverpool as well. So I can understand where he's coming from. And look, he's not involved. He wants to be here, but hopefully the boys go out there and do the job for him.
Definitely.
Let's have a little talk about the road to the final then, because obviously Billy has been involved in numerous chances this season. We've played some very decent teams to get to this stage. Jace, obviously the ones that jump out, the fact that we beat Liverpool to get here, we beat Leicester City as well, who at the time were third in the Premier League, beat Manchester United as well to get here. We've done it the hard way, so not only are we deserving of this opportunity, but there's nothing to fear. We've played the best and we've beat the best to get here today.
When you look at who we've played, it's quite remarkable. We beat the champions, okay? I know it wasn't in the FA Cup. We beat Man City around that period as well during lockdown. We had to go to Leicester, who finished just behind us. We beat them. We're going to have to beat Arsenal if we want to win the Cup as well, who, let's be honest, having a great season. But again, it's another tough game. I think we can be incredibly proud of our run. I looked at Manchester City's run last season when they won the FA Cup. I'm not sure they played a team in the Premier League until they got to the final.
Wow.
I'm trying, but they had an incredibly. There was a stat, if not that, the season before. Look, you've got to beat who's in front of you, and today we have a very tough task. But you're right, we have done the hard way, and we're a tough team to play against. When you look at the two semi-finals, it could have been a Manchester derby, it could have been Manchester versus London, it could have been a London derby. It's turned out to be this way, and I don't think too many people felt that it was going to go the way that it's gone. I'm confident that we can go on and get the result we need, under no illusions how difficult this is going to be, because they're a side in good form. They play the three at the back well, and I think we have to be very much aware of that. And I think we're going to match one another up over the pitch. I think that's going to. It may be a stalemate, but I expect goals. But no, we've done well to get where we have, and I think Frank can be incredibly proud of getting us here.
I mean, that's kind of my next point, Coley, is obviously at the start of the season, and even recently Frank was talking about top four being his priority, getting Champions League football next season. Now, the business that the club's already done in the window has been remarkable. But when you get here, when you're in an FA Cup final, he's obviously not going to say that to the boys in the dressing room, go, boys, we've done our job. All of a sudden, this becomes bigger, does it not?
Yeah, of course. Listen, the job's not done. We're here now. You've got to make sure you get over the line. There's no point doing all of that work to get to here and then it goes out the window. So you don't want to be coming out here with your tail between your legs. You want that to be Arsenal, didn't you? So I'm just going to say, all you've got to do is do what you've been doing up till now and get it over the line. It's as simple as that. And whatever the formula that Frank's got, it's just don't change anything. Just keep on going in the same route, and you'll see you'll get the result today.
If we bring our A game and they bring their A game, we win.
Yeah.
If they bring their A game and we don't, they probably win. So if we turn up and deliver today, I'm in no doubt that we've got enough and better than them to win this game. But we've got to deliver. Carl's absolutely right. There's no point turning up here now. Getting to the final's one thing. But it's all about the next 90 minutes, and hopefully there'll be a trophy at the end of it.
I mean, it's well trodden. These teams play each other. Chelsea-Arsenal is a fixture that comes up a lot, and especially in important games. We talk about even in the very recent past, the 2017 final and stuff like that. But when you look at the difference between the side, like you said, Jay, it might be a case of matching up formation-wise. Yeah. David Luiz is a player that we are all well aware of. Earlier in the season, he got sent off at the bridge. Yeah. He's another player, and like you just mentioned there, if Arsenal bring their A game and Chelsea bring their A game, Chelsea win the game. However,
we should do.
David Luiz is key to that, isn't he? Because we know how good he can be on his day, but also you know that if he's good, he's very good, and if he's not having his best day, is that something you look to exploit?
Look, David Luiz in a 3 is very, very capable. Very capable. In a 4, that's where his game falls down. I think you need a player in front of him. You've got to protect David. He's a brilliant footballer. One-on-one, he is not a good defender. He makes wrong choices. But when he gets bodies around him and he's got time on the ball, he's a wonderful footballer. What we've got to do is try and isolate him. And have we got their team? Is it Tierney on the left, or is it Kolasinac?
Tierney.
Tierney's on the left of the 3. So that makes sense to me. So you've got a left back playing alongside David Luiz, who's in the middle. Now, the left-back understands that role. So if he gets dragged out into the area, he knows how to deal with that. If David Luiz gets dragged out, and I've seen it so many times, whether it's been an Arsenal shirt or a Chelsea shirt, you get one-on-one, dragged out in wide areas, he isn't comfortable. And I think that's a good decision for me from Arteta. Kolasinac, isn't quite as comfortable as well. But look, he's done brilliant for this club. He's a legend in my mind. 2012, well, the game he played alongside Gary Cahill in Munich was, one of his best performances. He is very capable. Either he's very, very good, average, or very bad. Let's hope that we get the bad one.
Oh, like you said, we've seen games where David Luiz on his day is phenomenal. Like, he is phenomenal. Someone that is phenomenal even when it's not his day, because he's always on that, is N'Golo Kante. We were all talking about, we expected him to be in the side today, didn't we? I think all of us chatting beforehand in the hours leading up.
Fit, 100% fit, he starts for me. But
exactly that. Do you think Frank was being clever in the pre-match press conference? Because I read into that. Yeah. Kante's fit, and if Kante's fit, Kante starts. Now, Mikel Arteta's obviously got a lot more football IQ than I have. However, is that something?
Maybe Mikel took the bait, because look, we know there's red herrings thrown in football all the time. Do you know what I mean? There's always like smoke bombs here and there, just smoky mirrors and all that sort of stuff. So it just depends of what Frank was feeling and what he's seen Kante in training all week. He'll know or feel if he's ready to start a game or not. As I said, I would have liked to see him start. I think he's a starter for me. Always, if he's fit, he starts, as you well know. He's not a game changer. I wouldn't bring him on if we're chasing the game. So if we're chasing the game, you might not be able to come on. So listen, Frank knows what he's doing. He knows what his team selection and what each player brings to the fold, and hopefully he's made the right decision today.
Jace, we speak on a regular basis about the experience that Frank has selected since lockdown has come back in, and again, this is a different perspective, a different outlook. So if you've got players that have been there and done it, obviously not in this kind of environment, but they've been there and done it. You look at the options he's got on the bench in terms of younger players. I know Ross Barkley isn't younger, but he's certainly a player that can come on and affect the game. You look at Hudson-Odoi, you look at Tammy Abraham. You've also got Pedro, who'll probably be playing his last game for Chelsea today if he's not involved in the Champions League next weekend. Yeah. But he's got so many options, so it's almost, as the game goes on, he can decide, is it right to bring on younger players to freshen it up, or do I need someone to dig in the experience? You've got N'Golo Kante on the bench as well. I know what you're saying, Coley, and I agree with you. It might not be the right time to bring him on. I'll tell you what, if you sit beside and you look at Kante, you go, whatever the game goes, I've got him if I need it.
Yeah, I mean, the bench generally, if you think about the way that football is played, the bench is used to change a game. And more often than not, to change it because it's not going your way. And you look at that bench you just mentioned there are, Coley's just said it there, game changers. And N'Golo's not a game changer. What he is a game player that can come on and perhaps secure the game. Maybe if there's 10 to go, maybe if we're getting overrun in the middle of the park, Frank's looking at, we're 1-0 up, we're getting overrun, they change their shape and think, you know what? N'Golo comes on. He's not going to come on to change the game in our favour in terms of scoring and get back into it. You're looking at Pedro, you're looking at a Callum, you're looking at one of those other players with a bit of pace, a bit of creativity about them. That's why I don't think we're going to see N'Golo in this final, and I hope we don't, because if we maybe we do with 10 to go, but for me the bench. I look at the bench in players and the opposition to players that can change the game in there. Who are the ones we fear? What have they got that we think, that can change the game? They might be able to do that. They might go 4 at the back. They may even go and another man in the middle of the park. N'Golo doesn't quite fit that bill.
You say that, but I wouldn't mind seeing him either. Because if he came on, that means we've got something to protect.
I'll take that. I'll take that.
I'll tell you what then, I'm going to stick it on you, Carlton. What's the score prediction today, mate?
I said 2-0. So I'm sticking with 2-0, but I always get it wrong. So
hey, well,
let's see it. Let's see it.
We all get it wrong. Oh no, I got it right last time, didn't I?
You did, didn't you?
Don't worry. Hey,
and you went for 2-0. That's why I'm copying you again.
I did. Yeah. Do you know what the worst bit is? I got it wrong every single week. Didn't even get a chance to gloat last week because I forgot. Game's over.
I said you didn't even go for the bait. Like I was thinking, I was going to hear I wasn't going to hear the last of it, but you didn't even.
I thought we was going to close it all out. That's why. Don't worry, Carlton. I'll ring you after for a debrief if I get it right. Jace. Brilliant as usual, mate. We're back on the Zoom chat with Zach and the rest of the team in a bit. Carlton, thank you very much, mate. Enjoy the final. Hopefully you enjoy it. Yeah. Hopefully we all enjoy it very nicely.
We will do.
Right now, though, let's have a look at the man that has been banging in goals recently, Olivier Giroud, chatting ahead of the game with our technical and performance advisor, Peter Cech.
Olivier, let's start with you. I mean, tell us what the build-up's like inside the camp at Cobham going into what is another huge FA Cup final this weekend.
The team is working well. We've been working tactically about Arsenal shape and So hopefully, we'll be ready. We will be, and hopefully I will try to equalize Peter, on his record.
He's coming for your record.
Oh, if he gets there, then I start training again next year.
Take us back to your playing days, Pete. What was it like for you preparing for a big cup final like this? How much did you enjoy it and look forward to it?
I always enjoy playing the FA Cup. That was one of my favorite competitions. And in England, the FA Cup is such a tradition that you have 90 minutes or 120 minutes of penalty shootout and you win it. Or you can sometimes, sit another 5 years and just, cry, saying, thinking about that you were close and you never reached it. My goal was always try to be the best, which is probably the reason why you go on and you wake up every morning no matter what and you go to work hard again, and that's why you manage to accumulate more wins than losses and more trophies than not.
Ollie, what would you say to the fans that will be watching the game from home instead of ideally being at Wembley Stadium this weekend?
Well, that we're gonna miss them. I'm looking forward to see you back in the stadium. Hopefully we will celebrate through, screens, TV the weekend.
We love an FA Cup tradition. Petter, if I'm not right, I think I can spot a drum kit over your right shoulder. Do you fancy sort of putting together a quick FA Cup song for us?
FA Cup song? No. It will take a little bit more time.
Tried to get a song out of him, Ollie. Unfortunately not. We'll leave the singing to you and the boys then on Saturday night, hopefully. Thank you both for your time today. Ollie, the very best of luck. Petter, enjoy watching the game from the sidelines as well, and let's hope for a positive result and good luck on Saturday, Jan.
There we have it. Two men to both play for the red and blue sides of London, as did our next guest, William Gallas, who has joined the show, wearing his blue cap this afternoon. How are you doing, William?
I'm all right. I'm fine, thanks.
That's good to hear. I mean, we should probably talk about your fellow countryman, Olivier Giroud. He's on fire at the moment. How important do you think he is to this Chelsea side currently?
He's a very important player for Chelsea because Olivier has a strong mentality. And when he plays, you can see on his face, he always wants to win every game. He always wants to score goals. If we remember the last goals he scored against Wolves, it was like he didn't want to give it. He just wanted to put that ball in the goal. So that's why I think Olivier is very important, because as well, he's very strong. It's very difficult to, when you are the defender, it's very difficult to take the ball from him, and he can give the opportunity for his teammate to go a little bit high up, So that's why I think today, against Arsenal, the defender will have a lot of difficulty against him.
Yeah, I mean, I would not like to be David Luiz today, put it that way. Claire, did you feel any different preparing for a final at Wembley than, say, like a normal regular league match or so?
I think other than the actual pressure of the fans and the exposure that you get, the desire, as Chelsea in particular, the culture that runs through, it's about winning. So the expectation is to end the season with at least one trophy, Champions League, winning Champions League. Like the bar is so high, then the pressure does come with that. And subconsciously, I do think you probably pay a little bit more attention to the detail. But at the same time, what I found out really early on in my career, that I was better when actually I learned what I needed to do. I listened to the coaches, and then I switched off, and I didn't dwell too much on the opposition. But as I think ultimately, talking about Giroud, he's the ability to reinvent yourself. Chelsea are here again. The expectations here again. He has strengths and attributes that he probably got a little bit undermined prior to the season, but he's grown and evolved himself. And the rivalry is so key here. and actually playing to them and evolving and growing and taking advantage of the weaknesses. Luiz and Giroud, that battle is going to be so interesting. I actually really can't wait to watch it.
Well, I mean, they're good friends as well from last year. Dan, let's talk about a certain Chelsea Academy graduate, Mason Mount. What a year it's been for him, right? He's come back from loan and Derby, where he worked with Frank Lampard. He's now working with Frank Lampard at Chelsea, his home club. And now he's in an FA Cup final. It's not too bad, right?
It doesn't get much better than that, to be fair. And I mean, look, everyone knew Mason Mount's like a top footballer, but there were obviously a lot of doubts as to whether he could do it at a top level. And then even when he can do it, can you do it consistently? I think he's answered all of those questions in one season. You know, he can play. You can rely on him. He can score and put. I mean, against Wolves, that was a clutch goal he scored. You know, that is a top free kick. But more than just a free kick is the fact that at that moment, you know, things were very tense. Even with Man U and Leicester at that moment, like we needed something to happen, and he made something happen. And then Olivier Giroud tops it off, and before you know it, we're 2-0 up, and it's quite comfortable. But he's done that loads of times. You know, how many man of the match performances has he given in one season? And he's still a kid. He's literally still so young that you can only imagine what he can become in a few years, especially when he gets his man strength and starts to, you just naturally, you know, start to hit your physical peak in probably a few years' time.
Yes. Now, unfortunately, one Chelsea graduate who's not in the squad today is Reuben Loftus-Cheek, but he is sitting down next to at Wembley, I should say, with Lee Parker.
Reuben, it's obviously great to see you here pitch side at Wembley, but I know you dearly love to be involved. Tell us how you are and how's the injury?
Yeah, I'm good. Nothing too serious. Just my Achilles on the other side, so from an incident in training. But because of my history with Achilles, it's I decided to take it easy because we don't want it happening what happened on the other side. So yeah, not too bad, but happy and ready to support the team.
I know you are obviously one of the biggest cheerleaders when it comes to it. I mean, how good a spectator are you when it comes to games like this that sadly you can't be involved in?
Well, I think what I've noticed recently, especially with no crowd and stuff, is that the guys on the bench and in the stand have to produce the atmosphere, and it's actually quite good because the players on the pitch can hear the praise from you from the sideline, and they can hear the shouts. Unlike if there was 80,000 people here. So that's my job today.
No pressure.
Yeah.
It was interesting speaking to Frank Lampard after the semi-final because I don't think he sat down throughout the whole game. And you could hear every instruction. I guess it changes the whole dynamic for you out on the pitch, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, you can actually hear instructions from the bench now. So when you can get your message across for the gaffer, you can get his message across. So it's very different in that sense. So hopefully we can take advantage of that. Yeah.
I know he's very modest when it comes to putting him on the spot, but what do you think it would mean to the manager to win an FA Cup to culminate this fantastic first season?
I think it'd mean a lot to him, especially that we've had some ups and downs this season, and to obviously now finish fourth in the Champions League next season, and if we can possibly get a cup, what an achievement, for his first season at Chelsea, and then onwards and upwards from there. But hopefully we can do it today.
We certainly hope so. We'll let you go and practice your singing voice. Enjoy the game, and we hope to see you back sooner rather than later.
Cheers, man. Nice one, Lee.
You're good.
Right, it's time for Predict Alive, I should say. William, I'll be coming to you in a minute for your prediction. Now, remember, guys at home, to head to chelseafc.com/predict for all the details. Prizes include the brand new 2021 home shirt that I'm fantastically modelling, if I'm sure everyone will agree. The question is, though, can you beat our expert Matchday live panel? Expert in quotations. Here's what they have gone for today. Joe, who will be joining us in a bit, has gone for 1-0. I have gone for 3-1. Claire has gone for 2-0. Dan has gone for 4-0. And Pat's gone for 2-0. And Jason has gone for 2-1. William, what are you saying the score is going to be today?
Oh, I think the score will be 2-1. 2-1 for Chelsea. and I think Olivier Giroud is going to score. Definitely is going to score. And the second goal will come from maybe, I don't know, maybe Mount, because at the moment he's on fire. And you need one player like him because he can make the difference. But I will be a little bit scared because Arsenal can score at any time with Aubameyang.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we have to be careful with him, because that player is very, very fast.
Yeah.
But if we keep him very well, I think, we're going to win 2-1.
Okay, well, Pat says Chelsea's going to keep a clean sheet with a 2-0 prediction. Why have you gone for that?
Just got a real belief in the team at the moment. Like Willian, I thought that Giroud was going first goal. Very, very confident about that. He's on fire. 8 goals. We've had 11 goals. He scored 8 goals for us. He's supposed to be a technical striker. He's not a great goal scorer. Well, he's both at the moment. He's a fantastic technical striker, but he's also a goal scorer out and out at the moment. So Olivier to score, and I just think we're getting a little bit stronger slowly but surely at the back. And I just don't know if Arsenal are that great. So really confident today. And when I saw the teams matching up 3-4-3 against 3-4-3, I just think we're better. Simple as that.
Okay, well, I mean, you think we're confident with a 2-0 prediction. Dan, you've gone 4-0, my friend. I mean, I assume you just think Arsenal aren't going to turn up.
It was a formality. I mean, I played FIFA against somebody, and the score, we agreed that the score would be what I predict for the game, and I obviously won 4-0. And to be fair, I scored with Drogba. I brought a legend in, so I'm not sure how it's going to work.
Well, you never know.
Drogba first goal scorer for me.
Okay, you never know. I mean, we'll see. Claire, you've gone for 2-0 as well. You think we're going to keep a clean sheet. Do you think defensively we've been a lot better recently?
I think we're very susceptible on the counter-attack. But I think the attacking prowess that we have, what Pat mentioned about Giroud being actually more flexible than people give him credit for. Obviously, in great minds speak alike as well. So 2-0, I think we've got enough about us to actually keep focus and keep the mindset compact when we are susceptible. Obviously, Kante is missing, so we don't have that defensive shield in midfield, but I think we've got enough about us to do 2-0.
Fair. Well, someone who's joined us here in his... I mean, he's making me look a little bit not as fashionable in his nice suit, is Joe. I mean, we'll jump straight into your prediction, mate. Well done earlier. You've gone 1-0, so compared to Dan's 4-0, you're a little bit more cautious.
I am, to be fair. I think I've let the side down, to be fair, Zach. I've gone 1-0 because I expect it to be quite cagey. I think I feel really confident, although my scoreline doesn't really suggest that. But I feel confident. I think we've played well recently. So 1-0, bosh. I'm happy with that.
Fair play. William, now Chelsea are in an FA Cup final. For, say, your experienced players like Cesar Azpilicueta, he's been here, he's done this before. How important is for someone like him to show his experience to some of the younger guys?
That is very simple, because he's a captain of Chelsea. He has to speak to his players, and he has to explain to them how that game will be very important to win. But as we know, when you play the game, the final like this, everything is on the small details. So you have to be focused from the start of the game until the end. And you have to speak. You need to have a lot of communication with your players and to explain to them sometimes what we have to do, if we have to go a little bit higher or if we have to drop, all depend if your opponent put pressure on you. So that's why I think Azpi will be very important today to speak with all the guys around him.
Now, I guess this question's a little bit more personal for you, William. How much do you
miss? Which one?
No. This one's more. How much do you miss playing in such a big occasion like this? But being a professional and playing in an FA Cup final, I mean, would you give anything to do it again?
Of course, because it's something I think the people has to understand when you play the final, you know, you got pressure. You got pressure the day before the game. You got pressure when you go on the bus. You got that pressure when you arrive at the stadium, and it's something, you know, you like. And when you go on the pitch, you are like a warrior. You just want to go on the pitch and to give everything to win that trophy. And I don't know how to explain. It's very difficult to explain. I think you have to go on the pitch and to play in front. Well, right now, the player doesn't play in front fans, but normally you play in front 60, 70,000 people. And when you look around, you just said to yourself, oh my God, I'm so lucky to be here. So let's to give everything and let's win that game.
Oh, mate. I mean, maybe one day I'll make it. I don't know. But thank you, Willian, for that. I appreciate it so much. We now have an interview with a man who always performed under pressure. It's none other than Didier Drogba.
Didier, first of all, fantastic to see you. You look well. How have you been during lockdown?
You know, I've been living in Ivory Coast, getting involved in the foundation, you know, with this COVID situation.